Sunday, and I know it's one of them cloudy, dreary days that people move for slow, I guess. But we're glad to have Austin and his family with us today. Austin is no stranger to us, everybody knows Austin. It's been a little while since you've been here, man.
Yeah, it's been a few years.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Austin and let him tell us a little bit about Campfield.
Here, I'm gonna get up here so I actually have a stand.
Oh, you can pull it down if you want.
Okay. I'll do that. Well, I probably don't need to say a whole lot about Camp Fit, because I feel like everybody in here knows plenty about Camp Fit. So. But it's always good to kind of go over a few things, and then I'm going to have a quick segment here at the end. If you have questions, feel free to ask. I mean, just whatever. If you're curious about something, like a project that we're doing, or if you're curious about, I don't know, we even have our registrar here. So if you got questions for Kristen Steele today, you can ask Kristen anything, and she's got the answer. So first thing that I wanted to say about Camp Fit is we are a 501c3 nonprofit, which means we cannot function without our churches or youth. So every year when I go around to different churches to speak to them, I remind them that, you know, we're not just operating off of, you know, thin air and good vibes and all these things that, you know, that a lot of people, especially people who don't really think about the ministry or Camp Fit, or we're not in front of them all the time, you know, they're like, okay, yeah, but our church supports the ministry of Camp Fit, we know that. And they just know that it operates and it goes on, and it's been going on since 1945. And so just kind of in the back of everybody's mind, but it's always good to remind people that we could make Camp Fit happen at all. Not even our operation. I'm not just talking about summer camp or volunteering, but financially we could make Camp Fit happen at all without donors and our church support. And so I want to thank Lynchburg for supporting us for, how long do you think Lynchburg has been supporting Camp Fit?
Oh.
Oh.
All right, I've been here almost 47 years, and I know we have 47 years, and I know they did before.
After 47 years, you can come on up here, Collins. You can come in. So yeah, half for 47 years, and there's churches that have been doing that. I mean, doing it even longer. Later in the sermon today, I'll talk a little bit about Shiva, who pretty much one of the founding churches, I guess, of Camp Fit. But one of the things that I like to remind people about that it's different. What's so different about our home churches that have been supporting this for close to 47 years or thereabouts, or even longer, is we're not just another missions or ministry that you all support. You all are almost like the DNA of Camp Fit. It's what makes up Camp Fit. And so you have a lot of great missions that I'm sure you all support at Lynchburg. I know at Cornerstone, they every month we kind of have highlighted missions that we go through. And a lot of those, they're supported globally. You know, we're more of a local missions, and we're not supported globally. We're supported by people very close to us that we know. And so really the ministry of Camp Fit, you all are kind of like the makeup or the DNA of the ministry. The mission of Camp Fit, I always like to remind people of the mission of Camp Fit, because I think that we accomplish this mission every single year. The mission of Camp Fit is we exist to provide opportunities for Christian discipleship through the ministry of Christian camping. And so I can see that every single year. I'm sure these two right here. Well, Raina is somewhat of a product. She has come from Camp Fit. She's a product of Camp Fit's ministry and impacted by Camp Fit's ministry over the years. I'm sure she would testify that she probably not be the person that she is today without the ministry of Camp Fit. I say the same thing. I am a product of Camp Fit. I would not be in vocational ministry if it wasn't for Camp Fit. I guess this would be, about to go into my 10th year of ministry, which I'm actually excited to say, because there's a lot of people that I went to college with that went into ministry, and they're not in ministry anymore. I mean, a lot, which is kind of sad. But I don't think that I would have been encouraged or called into ministry had it not been for Camp Pitt. And there's plenty of others. I think, Dean Ashby's one. I see Steve Pasley is another. Several of our board members, they probably wouldn't have been encouraged and gone into ministry had it not been for the ministry of Camp Pitt. And so we see from years past and even today how the ministry of Camp Pitt is still impacting people in our community. I brought a few little statistics with me today. In the last 5 years, we have reached over 500 new campers. What was that exact number, Chris? Do you remember? It was over 500 new campers, I know that. Every year we've had close to, on average, 100 new campers per year. It was like maybe 530, 535 campers to date, but I just put, just to be safe, we've had in the last 5 years more than 500 new campers at Camp Pitt. We've averaged over 300 campers per summer these last 3 years. This past summer we had 342 registrations and 328 campers. Was that right, Kristen?
Something like that,
Yeah, 328 campers. The last several years, I like to use that in comparison to 2021. 2020 we didn't have camp, which was only the second time, I think, in Camp Pitt's history that we didn't have camp during the summer. The other time was when we had, crazy transition between one camp to another, and so we took a pause one summer, and we started camp back up at our new location, which was established in '85, I think. Is that right? '85? Or at least that was the first summer at our new location. Anyway, 2020 we didn't have camp. 2021 we had 321 registrations. Or I'm sorry, 221 registrations. 221 registrations in the summer of 2021. And so you can see from 2021 to now how we've gained more and more campers. Now, back in the day we had more than we do now. 342 registrations compared to maybe 15 years ago. We're still a little lower, but we're coming back from COVID. We're actually starting to do a little bit better here soon than we were pre-COVID because numbers have kind of gone down. But just looking at how we've reached so many kids within the last 5 years, I think every year if we continue on that average of getting close to 100 new campers, really our focus is on retention. How do we keep these campers coming back? And let me tell you, just talking to other camp managers at camp conferences and kind of just understanding the world that we live in today, there are countless opportunities for kids during summer. I mean, between the 4-H camp to its vacation. I mean, I've had probably 4 or 5 different families or parents contact me since August saying, when is this camp week next year? We're planning vacation. Which is good. I'm glad they're reaching out to me wanting to know because they want to send their kid, to camp and they're eager to go back. At the same time, we've got, a lot of competition every single year. And we also are living in kind of a generation that once they've experienced it once, they're ready to move on to the next thing. And so, repetition or wanting, having that desire to go back, it's a hard hook. It's hard to hook a kid to come back for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years consecutively. And so there's a lot of competition. But I think at the rate that we're going, we're slowly coming up. If we can continue that rate of maybe 100 new campers per year, we have a lot of outreach, we have a lot of kids that we can reach. I think we'll see more and more kids coming, which means more and more kids impacted for the gospel. Now we are doing some new stuff to reach kids. We did have a new change in the Pennsylvania County Schools with a new, do you know the name of that person, the new director?
Mr. Mayhew?
Mr. Mayhew. So, and then Henry County, I think, has the same thing. We have a new director out there. So I don't know how they're going to feel about Christian advertisement in the school system, but so far, these last 2 years, we've were able to get Camp Pitt information into 19 schools in Pennsylvania County alone, which was just amazing. And it was amazing to see our public school system happen. I love telling this story too. In Chatham and in Danville, we had 2 or 3 schools. I've only brought in about, I want to say 5 posters and maybe 50 brochures to the schools. And that's, I mean, when you look at all the schools we have to do, that's about all we can afford, I guess, in our budget, is to do that per school. And so I brought them to the school, and they started making copies so that they could hand one to every single kid in the school system, which I think is bold, and it's a good thing. We have teachers who value the military Camp Pitt, and they're willing to use school copier paper and potentially get in trouble. I'm serious. I mean, the school board is not necessarily a fan of putting information like that in every kid's hand. What I was instructed to do was to put it in an area where it can be seen, but not handed to kids. I'll name one name because we know her, Julie Manis at Chatham Elementary. She was just like, we're going to put them in the hands of every kid. That's very bold, but it's very good to take that. It doesn't seem like a big risk, but it has the potential to be a big risk. I mean, it does in the world that we live in today. And so I'm thankful for the school systems that we have. So advertisement is a big thing. Continue to reach those kids is a big thing, and bringing in at least those 100 every year, like we've been doing or close to it, I think is one of the keys to continuing to make sure we've got growth in the camp. Big projects around camp. Some of you may know about some of the projects we've already done. We have spent close to $200,000 in the last few years in capital improvements. Now, if you come to camp often, I had a guy come down, it was actually a police officer. I watched the sheriff vehicle pull down the driveway. This was back in April, and I was like, what is he doing? And he pulls all the way down the camp and just parks. And he gets out and starts walking around. What is this guy doing? Like, is he looking for something? Is, you know, we've had, you know, alerts show up on Facebook before, like, man on the loose. And I'm like, looking on Facebook, I'm like, please don't tell me someone's hiding in our dorm or whatever else. And so I walked down there and introduced myself. He's looking around, and the dude was emotional. And I'm just, you know, talking to him, and he said, I came to camp here when I was a kid, and I was driving by, and just decided to come down here. And I just thought that was so neat. But he did mention something, even though he was emotional, he told me about, you know, how much it impacted him as a kid. It's great for me to retain. It's always a good reminder to hear that stuff. But he looked around, he said, man, nothing has changed. It looks exactly the same. And I was like, oh man, you gotta be kidding me. I said, no. I said, look here, we got a new pool fence, a new walkway right here. I said, we've got a new HVAC system. We've done all these different things. He said, it pretty much looks the same. And I agree with him. I remember when I went as a kid, it kind of does look the same or looks very similar. But there's been a lot of upgrades. So within the last few years, we have spent close to $200,000 in capital improvements. That's a big deal. Not only that, but we're doing pretty well. I mean, comparatively, like, you know, during COVID, it was some scary times, but we're doing pretty well financially. Not to say that we won't spend that money, but at the same time, we're doing well enough where we're like, let's continue on some of these projects. Let's keep going. God is providing to us in a very unique time right now. And so, one of the projects that we have going on at camp is our bathroom projects. We are renovating all of our bathrooms across campus, which I think, where was it? I can't remember. I think it was either at New School or Forest Hill. We had some kids, some campers, and some volunteers in there, and I told them about the bathroom renovations, and one of the campers stood and started clapping, and a couple of the volunteers laughed, and they were like, woo! And so, but that just tells you, you know, it's probably past due for some bathroom renovations. And so I'm very excited about that. We've got 11 sets of bathrooms across campus, not including our house, the manager's residence, or the nurse's station. So we have 11 sets of bathrooms, and we just got a quote this past Monday, which we kind of knew this is where it's going to be. We just got a quote this past Monday at our board meeting that the cafeteria and kitchen bathrooms, which is where we're gonna start, is gonna cost $15,000 for the two. Now, you can do the math, 11 sets of bathrooms, $15,000 per set of bathrooms, that's a lot of money. And we are going to, I think, start some of this. We're also relying on some Harvest Day funds to kickstart this. But at the beginning of the year, our ambition is to get started and get some of this going. And talking to one of our board members about this, what we're going to try to do is start with the cafeteria and kitchen. Then we're going to move to either the gym bathrooms or the two bathrooms off the end of our girls' dorm, which is a female bathroom and a men's bathroom. What is it?
That's fine.
That's Carla's dorm. Okay, so off the end of Carla's dorm, we're going to renovate her bathroom. Wrong building. Okay, never mind. Carla sold that estate. This is she sold it to Camp Pitt. Thank you, Carla. So anyway, but those are our public bathrooms. Those are the ones that parents see a lot whenever we have events. People see it a lot. So hopefully, maybe within the next 2 years, it may take longer. I hope it takes less. I really do. I'd love to get it done tomorrow if I could. But hopefully, we'll see within the next couple of years. We got all the bathrooms renovated at camp. These last couple of years, we have replaced every single roof at camp, including the gym roof, which was no financial joke, except our house and one of the pavilions. Every single roof across campus. We put in a huge new HVAC system with better heat, better air conditioning for the whole kitchen and cafeteria building. We put in new AC units in all the dorms. We put in new skimmers, new pool pump, new filter at the pool, which you're like, yeah, that's probably not too much money. Yeah, it was. It was quite a bit of money. And so, like I said, last few years, close to around $200,000 in new projects around camp. And we're going to continue on and do more. So our goal this year for Harvest Day, and I hope all of you can make it out to that. If not, you can still participate in donating towards our Harvest Day fund, which goes pretty much towards our bathroom renovations. Our goal this year is $50,000, which is basically double, right? That's double what we've been asking. But I truly believe God is going to show up in that way. I really do. I think that he already has been. I'll tell you a quick story. Last year, we got a quote on the pool skimmers. We had cracked pool skimmers, and Scott even told me the previous camp manager, he said, yeah, they've been needed to replace for years now. And it's just one of those things where we'll take some like JV weld and we try to patch it up or something and prolong it, but it was time to do that renovation. We got a quote for $10,000. Not long later, I get a call from, I'll just say it was an elder at one of our churches. He said, hey, can we meet for lunch? So yeah, sure. So we went out to El Cazador and had lunch, and he said, hey, I started a business 2 years ago, and it really took off this year. We have more money than we know what to do with. And he said, I want to write you a check for $10,000. Had no clue. Had no clue about the skimmers for camp. I said, I can already tell you exactly what this is probably going to go towards. I said, we got skimmers at the camp that need fixed, and it's going to cost $10,000. And he was like, that's amazing. And so we see time and time again how God has provided. We were talking about the gym roof. How much is this going to cost us? Unfortunately, but fortunately, a lady passed away, a relative to one of the previous camp managers. She donated $50,000 to the camp. Guess how much it costs us to do the roof? And so it's just like, man, God continues to provide. And, there's two sides to being a good steward with money. Or I guess there's one side of being a good steward with money. There's two sides to not being a good steward with money. Hoarding it all and keeping it and not doing anything with it. And then spending it all like crazy and being irresponsible. There's a middle ground there where we want to be thankful and protect ourselves and our ministry and what we can't foresee, like COVID when that happened. We want to do that, but at the same time, we want to use the money that God continues to provide us. So those are a lot of the big projects that we've done, and one of the ones that we're doing. Other things that are happening behind the scenes. Look, we live in a crazy, crazy, crazy world. Within the last few years, I've heard of different camps getting sued for ridiculous things. 2 years ago, one of our sister camps down in Florida, they had normal camp registration. Every single kid that came in, they were assigned to their dorms. 2 days into camp, some of the boys came to one of the leaders and said, there is a girl in our dorm. Parents signed that girl up for camp as a boy, and by the way that they were dressed and the age range, nobody at check-in could tell. And so, parent didn't care. And so we've got a lot of things happening behind the scene that I'm working with the board members on. One thing that we've done proactively in the last couple of years, we signed on with Alliance Defending Freedom. If you don't know anything about Alliance Defending Freedom, they've had probably a 15-year history now, maybe even longer, maybe 20. But they are lawyers who are protecting Christians, churches, ministries like us in the highest of courtrooms. You all remember that Christian man who had the cake bakery out of Colorado years ago. This is 12 or 13 years ago. They are still defending him in the courtrooms today over that thing. That one thing. That happened, I think it was 12 years ago. I know it was over 10. He is still going through court cases on that one thing because his faith, he has a faith that says, no, I'm not going to do this for this homosexual couple. And again, they keep taking him back to court, and they are continuing, Alliance Defending Freedom continue to protect him. So one of the things Alliance Defending Freedom is doing is they're going through all of our documents. I keep sending them stuff, they'll send it back to me. We're editing it, we're trying to foolproof it around. But if that doesn't work, if we don't make it as clear as possible to the parent, to the kid, having all of these written policies and things, when they click this check mark and they sign off on sending their kid to camp, they are going to back us and defend us in the highest of courtrooms if we ever got to see this. So that's one of the things that we've been doing. We have kids and campers every single year who come to camp that have, quite frankly, a lot of troubles. Some of which need counseling, some of which we may even have to remove from the camp setting. And so Ray and I and a few others, we have started working on kind of getting an idea of how we handle some of these situations. So there's a lot that happens throughout the year. I get joked and picked on every now and again. It's just like, well, shoot, Austin, it's October. What do you do with all your free time? And I'm like, there's plenty to do. I mean, there really is. If it's not doing something like that, it's okay. Well, I need to get ready to preach, or I need to get ready to do a presentation, or I need to get ready to work on Alliance Defending Freedom, or Harvest Day is coming up, or we've got a worship night that's coming up for the kids, or is everything ready around the camp? Whatever it might be, there's always something to work on. But that's some of the stuff that we're working on behind the scenes, just trying to improve the camp, protect the camp and its longevity, and continue in the ministry that you all, and many of you have been impacted by. So, all right, with whatever time I have left, and I don't know, you have more. Okay. What questions? Do you all have any questions about the ministry of Camp Fit? Someone throw me like a softball first, like. What's your name? Awesome. Next question. What is that?
How many pieces of equipment have you got underneath the shelter out there? Ray said that's all broken equipment.
It's not all broken equipment. Thankfully, the reason why I had that stuff under the shelter is because when I herniated this, and we had tons of volunteers coming in and out, and mowing, weed eating to help with camp. The mower is not broke down. The side by side is broke down, and I can't fit the mower in the garage. So the mower needs But there's always, like I said, there's always something to do.
Well, it sounded better than say it was broke.
I'm broke, my back is that's how it feels. But yeah, I mean, I have stuff under the shelter right now, which the weed eaters are locked and put away. But they were out the other day because I had, I want to say 5 volunteers show up to help mow and weed camp and put on the pool cover and just different things like that I'm not able to do right now because of my herniated disc. So, all right, any other questions?
I ain't asking no more, cause I done said 2 things and I've been wrong on both.
You don't own any of the buildings that camp. And the mower's not broken, so, yeah.
The side-by-side's broken.
The side-by-side broken.
Just need some others.
All right, I don't reckon there's any questions, but if you do have any later on, and you're just like, oh, I've got a question, I want to ask Austin, ask me, later when we're eating or whatever else, I'm glad to
Is the
share.
calendar, you sent me the final calendar?
It should be if I sent you the final calendar. I'll have to check. Show me after church, we can double check.
I also brought I found my new computer with me, I need you to, so I
Okay.
can see the emails.
This isn't a good business time right now. Okay?
Well, you said I was a camp registrar.
Yeah. You guys have any questions for Kristen this morning?
Well, can't answer anything till Austin starts
It
teaching.
should be that middle school 2 ends on the 24th of July. You got that one? If you don't have that one, then send me the bill. Is there anything you want me to add, Brett? Pretty much covers all of our updates and businesses within the last few years, big things. Okay, all right. If you have any questions or think of anything later, feel free to ask. Talk to me about that stuff. Be glad to talk to you all about that. I always try to, if I can, leave the last talk because I've said a lot, but hard to say. November 9th, our goal is $50,000, and really hoping that our churches and our people will help show up in big ways for that. There it is, right there. Look at that. Did you just type that up? Man, that was fast. He was like, look at that. It's got you. Right there.
Announcement slides already.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, guys. I think, Ray, you have some stuff for us?
Yeah, we have a little bit more. Oh, thank you, Austin.
Okay. Sorry, I think you might be.
Okay. And I'm always glad when Austin's here representing the camp, because you all know how much I believe in camp. Camp was a big part of my life growing up. It wasn't a camp fit, but it was a big part of Carla's life. When she was growing up, that camp fit. So church camp is tremendously important arm of the church. And we need to keep up with that. Of course, you also know how much I believe in climbing higher, and climbing higher partners with Camp Vic, and we'll just watch this little video.
Hey everybody, this is Ray from Climbing Higher Ministries. We just want to share a little bit with you about one of the cool things we do in Climbing Higher, and that's our summer camp.
Hello, who am I here with?
Hello, I'm Alexandra Renee Clemmer. I go by Allie, A-L-L-I-E.
Hello, who am I here with?
Jesse.
Hello, who am I here with?
My name Brittany.
Brittany, how are you doing today?
Good.
What is your favorite thing that we do here at Camp Pitt?
Go swimming.
What is your favorite part about Camp Pitt?
Basically, my favorite part is all the activities that go on, and get to know people.
part about camp?
Helping some people.
What is your favorite part about helping with this week of camp?
Helping the special needs and help the trash and help some people with the classes.
Come to this camp, and they will teach you the right way to go to be with Jesus, because this camp, not only is it a camp, it's also awesome because we all get to be like a family here and learn a lot about Jesus, and that's the best thing about it. You get to come here and have fun. We have horses here sometimes. We have noodle bowl, like softball. We have talent show. We have a blast here. I can say it's the best time I come up here. This is the vacation I get when I'm not with my home, and we have a lot of fun. We even have a talent show. We can laugh, carry on, have a good time, and Pastor Ray does really good with us. And I expect anybody that doesn't understand the Bible can come to him, and he will understand and teach it to you, and break it down for you to understand. Yes, ma'am.
So that was the camp video from this summer. Real quick, some of those faces you might have recognized. We had 21 campers, which is the most we've had since COVID. We had 17 staff and 12 staff in training, I like to call them, all little kids from the volunteers that were there. Because a lot of the staff we had at camp who brought their kids are now staff at our summer camp. So that's one of the amazing things to watch happen. So camp is an important part of our lives, and I've got one other video I want us to watch. Another mission that's near to our hearts, since Brian and I have got to go and see what was happening in India before all this craziness was happening. And video of Brother Ajay Law talking about what's happening in India.
Hello, friends of Central India Christian Mission and our family. Your friendship and partnership in this ministry, it means the world to us. For so many years, you have prayed with us, believed in our leadership, supported us, and loved this work like it was your own. Every life that's been touched, every person who has heard the name of Jesus, your fingerprints are on all of it. I hope you truly know how much that means to us. Today I want to share what God has been doing with the ministry and where we are today, the challenges we have faced, and where He is leading us next. Let me be transparent with you. This last season has been incredibly hard. Our family had to leave India because of persecution and life-threatening situation. It has now been 1 full year since we have been in America. And seeing the current situation of India, our family will remain in America until the situation in India changes or God leads us in another direction. Serving from outside of India has brought deep challenges and moments of heartache. There have been days where I felt like the weight has been too much and the distance was too wide. Some parts of our ministries are struggling. Government's pressure has affected one of our children's homes. It has been heartbreaking to see 17 children taken away from one of our children's homes. Our hospital has been closed temporarily. Hopefully, we will be able to continue with our medical ministry in different ways. The nursing college is under immense pressure. Pastors and church leaders are facing increasing persecution, and legal battles are draining our time, resources, and strength. But here is what I want you to know. Even in those low points, we have seen God's hand. He has been with us, guiding us, reminding us that the work is still His and everything is in His hands. And through it all, He has been preparing us for what's next. You want to know what's incredible? One of the most beautiful answers to prayer is how God is raising up new leaders in India. Young men, women stepping forward with the boldness and faith, taking up great responsibilities. In last 40 years, we have been able to train many leaders. Leaders like Daniel, Sanjeev, Stanley, Jeevan, Nishant, Seemant, and many others in different areas of different states and in 6 countries in and around India. These people have worked for past 20 plus years with us, and they are taking up the leadership roles very seriously. Their hearts are sold out for Jesus. They believe in the DNA of Central India Christian Mission. Though we are physically far, our team in India is faithfully carrying the work forward. We stay in close contact with them every single week. And here is the best part, the ministry is still moving forward. More people are being reached, more churches are being planted, and in spite of the persecution, work of the Lord continues to grow significantly. The gospel is still going out, even in the midst of great difficulty. faithful brothers and sisters are boldly sharing the good news in villages, towns, and online space where Jesus' name is being heard for the very first time. House churches are growing and becoming strong. As large gatherings have faced limitations, these small house fellowships have become powerful centers of worship, evangelism, and discipleship. Our Hindi church online, what started for just our Damo church, is now reaching 128 countries to an audience of 4 million people a week. It is unbelievable. God's plan was definitely bigger and greater than ours. Young leaders are being trained, equipped, and sent through our online Bible college mentoring. Women are finding their voices and strength, rising up as pillars of faith in their communities. Even when we can't be physically present, God's word is going out through every channel available, and lives are being transformed from the inside out. As we have prayed and sought the Lord's guidance, we have felt Him gently leading us to focus more clearly on the heart of our mission, evangelism. Everything we do moving towards will follow and from the central call of God in Great Commission. Here is where God is leading us now. First, training and equipping our church leaders. We believe strong, biblically grounded leaders are key to lasting gospel impact through our online Bible college and mentoring programs. Even in different countries, different regions, among different language groups. Secondly, expanding church planting efforts, multiplying vibrant house churches that flourish not only in number but also in spiritual depth and community impact. Third, prioritizing children's ministry, creating safe, loving environments where children can encounter Jesus, receive care, love, help, and grow in hope. Fourth, engaging in compassionate outreach, being the hands and feet of Jesus through medical help, food distribution, widows' care, and meeting the greatest needs of the people. It is a new chapter. Sometimes it feels overwhelming, but we believe with all of our hearts that God is continuing to lead us from strength to strength. As we step into this next season, we need you with us more than ever before. Your prayers, your love, your support, your encouragement. They have carried us through so many storms, and I know they will carry us still. We are not just asking for support, we are inviting you into what God is doing next, which is going to be amazing. The best is yet to come. Even as I'm reading the reports for this month, we are seeing over 130 churches are being planted. Thousands are coming to the feet of the Lord. This year, we are planning 7 regional youth conferences. We just heard that recently in the language of Bhumia, which used to be a dialect, but now it's a language of over 600,000 people, Bhumia language, our leaders have translated the New Testament. These are just some of the things that I have mentioned, but God is doing some great things. Thank you for always being there, for every whispered prayer, for every quiet act of generosity, for believing in this mission with your whole heart. We love you and are grateful to you. And we truly believe that certainly God is going to lead us in a greater way to reach more people, to reach more unreached people, and to reach more countries, and to train many, many leaders to continue to preach the gospel. Will you continue this journey with us? Will you pray for these new leaders? Will you support this focused vision for evangelism? Together, let us see what is God's will is for us. He continues to open the doors. He continues to challenge us, and He continues to lead us and open many, many doors into new areas, new countries where people have not heard His name, the name which is the greatest among all names, the name of Jesus. We wish you the very best, and we remain grateful to God for your love, your cares, your partnership, and your trust in us. We want to be transparent, we want to be accountable, and we want to be fruitful and faithful as we enter into this new era of Central India Christian Mission. May God bless you. Thank you.
So, you can see from that they're going through quite a bit. And it breaks my heart to see the compound of the mission itself, where the children's home was. And close to that was a beautiful campus when we were there. And now you can see they're not there, and the like the things, the buildings. The hospital, that was the best hospital in a 900-mile radius. The only one had a cath lab in that 900-mile radius. The only one that put in special equipment to treat people during COVID. And the Hindus are trying to destroy it all. In fact, we got an update this morning. Brother B.J. Lambert, which is Ozzy's son's father-in-law, has been taken from police custody to prison with false charges. They could lead lifetime imprisonment. And he apparently was the head of the hospital and his charges of this and that. Moreover, my wife Hindu and my veil have been rejected today also. These false charges and injustices continue in our family. It's a spiritual battle with continued efforts to attack our family and bring extremely serious consequences on us. Abhijit, which is his son, continues to face false accusations of being involved in forceful conversion, seems to be a